Welcome back to the vendor table. Hey, Lauren.
Hello.
It's good to be back.
Yep.
We're back.
How you doing?
Oh, God, always fantastic.
How's photography?
Great.
This is about the point in recording where we just go.
It's like, what do we talk about? Like, who knows what we talk about
I've seen
anymore?
too much of you lately to like.
I know. We
ask
have seen
you
a
how
lot.
you're doing.
We really have seen a lot of each other.
I was just at your house last week.
I know, literally. Like pool parties and stuff like that.
I invited myself over.
She really did. She texted my wife, and she's like, "Can I? Like, you guys doing anything?" Didn't text me. Texted my wife.
Yeah, I like her better than you.
Oh, God.
You can't even say that that's like not justified.
It's probably
Your
true.
wife is awesome.
She is really awesome. I will give her that. Kind of why I
Married her.
for. Yeah, we've been together for 10 years. We're married 10 years, almost.
Almost.
Together for like 16. Isn't that insane? That's a long time.
That is a long time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you marry your best friend?
Yes, I did.
Good.
That's what it's all about,
Magical.
people. All right, so we're back. We're talking a cool new topic. I think
This is an interesting one.
it's an interesting one. It's something that's kind of come about recently. I feel like this year. I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't seen this until this year.
I haven't really seen it much either. I haven't seen it personally, like myself, but I've seen other photographers and videographers experiencing it. So I think it's a good thing to touch on.
It's a very good thing to touch on, and I haven't either. And it is wedding day content creators. They have really taken the industry by storm.
This is a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So to preface the episode, and for anyone listening, if you're not aware what a wedding day content creator is.
Because we only just learned what this is.
Yeah, like literally I felt like 2 months ago I learned what this is. But it's a thing. And it's a really, it's a career. And I see more and more of them popping up and establishing themselves. Good for you. But so to preface, what a wedding day content creator is basically somebody that a bride and groom hires for the day to create content with a cell phone.
Yeah.
So it's not DSLR, it's not, video camera or anything like that. It is cell phone content. So it takes the phone out of a guest's hand and gives it to somebody who's professionally trained to create content. As somebody who worked as a content creator, I did. I was a content marketing manager.
I did not know that.
For a company, and I used to do content. I think it's a really cool thing. It's weird for me to think that. You would think I would be controversial as a photographer, but I actually think it's a really cool trending career.
I think like in general, there are so many new things that have come about since like the age of TikTok, like the TikTok stepping onto the scene, and like people, it was back like when Vine started, like that was such a huge thing. Now we have people who are making a living off of creating content, and it's a lot of work. So Mike and I both, I think, can acknowledge that it's a career. It doesn't just take nothing.
It doesn't take nothing to do this. Like, it's not like you could just roll up and do this. There's a lot of thought and effort that goes into creating content.
I think like similar to how like some people will assume like our job is just pushing a button.
Yeah.
It's from personal experience trying to create one TikTok. This shit is not easy.
It's not easy. No, Maybe
that's my age talking. I don't know, but
maybe it's a millennial
not
thing.
Easy. Maybe it is a millennial thing.
No, and then like you create these TikToks and stuff like that, and like you put all this effort into it, and it takes forever to do it, and then like
or you
get
accidentally
like 400
delete it.
views or something. And you're like, oh.
This took me 2.5 hours to create, and then I accidentally deleted it or uploaded it to the wrong thing.
You remember the one I created of me like in all the different like the with all
my
the cameras?
favorite TikTok ever.
Yeah, that took me like an hour and a half to make, and I was literally like I had to do so many takes on that. I was like, how do people do this all day?
How do you not get frustrated and want to break your phone?
Oh, I did. Like there were a few times where I was like, why can't I just do this? I forget the line or something like that.
I remember when like the like put your head on my shoulder like phenomenon was happening, where like the light goes red and like from one frame you're in clothes, and then from the next frame you're like in your underwear and doing something sexy.
Is that like a boudoir thing?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's not really like, it's just like a thirst trap thing. Like,
oh, it's a thirst trap thing.
And I did it, right? Of course I did. So, but I was not, that was like the first thing I attempted like that. And I was like, this is so fucking hard. This should not be so fucking hard.
It shouldn't be. Like, I always see the bridesmaids doing TikToks, like, you know, like the transformation TikToks. Like, I think the Beyonce song, right, is one of them where it's like stop, wait a minute or whatever. And then like, I've seen that one. I've seen the one where it's like the bippity boppity boo. That was like a while ago.
Some of these transitions make my brain hurt because I just don't. It's like watching a magician. Where's David Blaine?
Yeah, it's really cool though. Like if you pull it off right. Yeah. But you know, like these content creators have to be up on the trends and they have to be like, you know, knowledgeable of that. So it is a career. It's turning into a wedding career where people are now working as wedding day content creators. I think it's personally really cool. I think there is a space for them in the industry. I think it's something that we're going to see more and more brides and grooms start to request, especially we live in the TikTok generation, right? Where instant gratification and instant satisfaction with content, like, you know, short form content has become key. I mean, look at all the Instagram reels we post and stuff like that. The ones that go viral and things like that are, you know, it's very satisfying to post a 30-second clip and watch that go viral. And a lot of these couples now want the ability to have their day captured while also doing something fun, you know, and maybe like remembering it in a fun way, whether it's, you know, a TikTok trend or a reel trend, or like, you know, maybe that content creator creates a really cool piece of content or video content based around their day, and they have that memory that's like really quickly delivered, because these people are delivering it like within like sometimes like a week, like days, like could be the next day. So I think it's a cool service. I think wedding day content creators, like, I think you have something here. I'm not like ever going to say like, I'm never going to try to deter somebody from getting into a career. I think it could be a really cool career. But I do think as a photographer, there is a hierarchy here. Okay. And I'm going to get real about like this, okay?
Yeah.
So,
I think...
yeah, go ahead.
Before we touch on that, I think like it is important for us to be open-minded about like new things and technology as we go on, because there's nothing we can't dig our heels in the sand and say, no, this can't happen, because it's going to. Yeah. So adapting to it and making sure that we're on it and like have this understanding that this is going to happen regardless whether we want it or not will make the transition a lot easier for us. Yeah. So like, I'm with Mike on this one. I don't hate this idea. I think it's like, it's interesting and it's new and it's different. So let's try to find the best ways to embrace it.
Yeah. I think that's like a cool thing to like look towards, is the fact that like the winds are changing a little bit here, and you know, you better hop on the boat or what? I don't know. I'm trying to make a
set sail.
I don't know what I'm trying to do here. Hop on the train before you miss it.
All aboard.
I don't know. Like hop on something, right? But, oh God, what did I just say? Just set myself up for that one. Hop on something, people.
Every episode.
It's not that type of podcast.
Not that type of podcast.
But
moving on.
But I think, yeah, like it is changing. The industry is changing, and we have a new generation getting married, right? Like millennials are now married, or, you know, much older. So less of them are getting married, or maybe they're on their second marriage, right?
Maybe they're still single. Who knows?
Maybe they're still single. Okay.
Who knows with this generation? I don't know.
Now it's Gen Z that is coming about, and Gen Z has a different list of demands than the millennials, as did the Gen X's and the boomers and all that stuff. So with every generation, the wedding industry shifts. Okay. There was a time that wedding videography wasn't a thing. It wasn't popular. Like there wasn't wedding videographers, and before that, wedding photographers weren't popular. Okay, probably in the 1900s. But at the same point, okay, there was always these trends, and the industry shifted towards those trends. Now look at what's in demand now versus what was in demand 10 years ago. And when I got married 9 years ago, photographers didn't have like this much like it's this much to do. All right, like there wasn't flat lays, and there wasn't like Pinterest boards, and like Instagram was just in its infancy, right? So there was less demand on the photographer to make everything, and there was less to deliver too. Photographers used to deliver like 500 photos.
Yep.
Now you're like, not to say forced, but you're like, you know, people want like the 1,000 to 1,500 photos. They want more back, and they want better quality. And that's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep changing with the generation, with the times, and you have to adapt, right? Like this is something we have to adapt to as creators in the industry. So with wedding day content creators being here and coming into the market, right, it does create though a hierarchy. Okay,
Yes.
there is a hierarchy on a wedding day. Okay, and it really does. And not to say because we are photographers we're in charge. Okay, but we are in charge. Sorry, like this is how it goes. Matt's laughing. But on a wedding day, you know, especially if you don't have a planner or coordinator, it's really the photographer that's dictating the flow of the day.
Yes.
It's always the case. So, and then after that, video is the next level. Okay, video has their shots that they want to create. Okay, then I think content creators can come into the play. And I listened to a podcast recently that had a content creator on, a wedding day content creator on, and she had mentioned that she was always shooting from the side, and like she's like, I'm not there to like interfere with the photographer and the videographer. I'm there to, you know, get something cool, but you're never going to have that head-on clip, and you're not going to never going to have that, you know. So like couples are aware of that going into it. And I loved what I was hearing from her. Right now, she also mentioned that the fact that a lot of regular content creators that maybe have a social media background or work for a company, like those are positions, so like at like businesses, and especially like Fortune 5s and stuff like that, where they are, you know, bringing these content creators, and these content creators are now coming in without wedding day experience.
Right.
And they're coming in and they are ruffling feathers in the industry, especially not so much with photo, but I think more with video.
Yeah.
So that's the part that I think establishing a hierarchy, like especially as the photographer and the videographer, getting to know the person, because they're there to do a job, but saying to them like, listen, this is how we're going to run the show. Okay. I can't have
there's there's a polite way to do it. Like it starts at just introducing yourself to the person. And we've talked about this in other episodes too, just politely introducing yourself, talking about how you're going to work together, asking if you've never worked with a content creator before, ask them what their flow is, like how they operate, because if you've never experienced it, how else are you going to know? Yeah. And then just telling them, hey, I'd really appreciate if, you stayed to the side a little bit just to give me room to do what I need to do. And then after I'm finished, like if you want to step in and get something, that's fine. Or, really it comes down to like respecting the videographer, I feel, because most of this content will probably be in video format. Yeah. So, from our perspective, it probably doesn't impede very much on our jobs as long as they're not directly underneath our nose. Yeah. But from the video perspective, what we've heard from friends in the industry, having something that you have styled and spent time on and put together yourself, and to have somebody else come in, shoot that without having a hand in it, and then maybe post it
24 hours later.
24 hours later is like a little upsetting. So I don't know. That is kind of tough. And like, how would you combat that?
Yeah, that's a good
or address it.
That's a good question. I think you just honestly, if they're hired by the couple, it's something you got to live with. And it's and as the photographer, I feel like we're not going to deal with that as much as video, but there is like, if there's content creators doing stills and they're giving the couple a head-on shot center aisle with a cell phone, and before I could deliver teasers to the couple of the professional shots, is it going to piss me off a little bit? I don't know if it will, but at the same point it might. But like from the video perspective, I can see where that's like they couldn't step on toes, but it is a different form of content, right?
True.
So like like you have professional video content where it's curated, the day is curated, whereas wedding day content creation is more
like a behind
the scenes. Yeah, like I feel like it's more of a behind the scenes perspective. It brings in all the little funny moments that maybe aren't captured on camera that people don't see, and I think it's for the couple to, like, you know, see that from two ways. So I see it from both ends. I do. I see that. I don't want to say like the like content creation is necessary. I don't think any wedding day vendor's
but I feel like
jobs,
it's a luxury.
It's a luxury, right? But I see, like, you know, these couples that, you know, that are very much into, like, you know, the content and everything like that, having them.
I mean, you just did a wedding recently with two like TikTok
last year,
influencers, right?
One of my favorite couples of all time, Sam and Monica. They are amazing. They have like 4 million followers on YouTube. Like one of my all-time favorite couples. I still text them and talk to them all the time.
I follow them too.
They're amazing. Like one of my favorite couples. But content creators weren't a thing. Like wedding day content creators weren't a thing.
So new.
Last year, I bet you they probably would have had one. They would have probably hired one.
And then they could have used that content on their platform, and I could see how that would be appealing for sure.
Yeah.
And honestly, for us, I mean, we try to get behind the scenes throughout the whole day too, but it's not always possible, even though we're trying like really hard to show people like how we are acting behind the camera and like what we do and how we operate, just to give people who might be considering booking a glimpse as to how our personalities are and like how we work. Let's say we share photos and videos with other vendors. Like who's to say that the content creator won't also get photos and videos of you and maybe share those with you for
it's a huge benefit.
So like, that could, I mean, be beneficial to us as well if that's something that they do.
Yeah, if that's something they want to do. Like if I would probably, you know, say to them, you know, like, hey, like, you know, like if you get any with me in it, like, you know, feel free to send it my way, kind of thing. And if I get good photos,
you just happen to get some of me, that'd
like,
be great.
and I return the favor to vendors all the time. Like a good buddy, AJ Ngoli. I love AJ.
I love AJ.
He's a great videographer, but like I worked with him plenty, and I always snap a shot of him like working the camera or like behind the scenes, like when he's doing his shot. Like I'll try to, and I'll send it to him. Like I'll be like, hey dude, I got a good BTS shot for you, you know, kind of thing. And he's done video of me like doing like test shots, and he's like done this like epic Michael Bay like tilt and stuff like that, and he sends it to me. So like it's a cool mutual like relationship, like, you know, photo and video had, not to say like photo and content creator could have, or video and content creator could have. So there is, you know, room in the industry is what I'm trying to say. There is room there, and I think it's a cool new job, and I can see a lot of the younger generation. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh,
you went there.
I went there.
I feel like I need Botox now.
Oh, the younger generation. I really said it.
Yikes.
But the younger generation could appreciate. Oh.
I want to die.
Oh God. Okay. Well, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna power through.
I'm gonna cry.
But no, I think it's a cool job. I think I could see it, but for the professionals in the industry, for the content creator professionals, like get acquainted with wedding etiquette. Okay. Like really get to know the wedding industry and how to do things. Okay. You know, maybe it, like I've been hearing horror stories from other vendors that have worked with content creators. I can't say that I've worked with a content creator yet. I haven't, but that they're stepping on toes, okay? And they don't understand the etiquette, and they're hopping in shots, or they're jumping in like trying to steal a moment, things like that. And I get that. And maybe they're not equated with the wedding industry, but that's something that...
Wait your turn.
Yeah, pretty much. Wait your turn. It's a great way to put it. Wait your turn.
Wait your turn. It's what I tell my 4-year-old.
Right?
It's not your turn. Wait your turn.
And if it comes to it where the content creator wants to do something, whether it's a TikTok, whether it's something that like is trendy, I need to know that.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing stuff like that, especially like if you're trying to do that when we're in the middle of photos, I'm going to probably have to put the brakes on that a little bit, because not to say that there are certain priorities here, but yes, like there are certain priorities.
Especially in terms of timeline, like there come crunch time, like if it's a tight timeline and you only have so many minutes to crash through the rest of your shot list, and content creator wants to step in and be like, okay, can I really quick just do, like, no, we can't. We can do it later.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, but we do not have time for that. And this is for their
Yep.
wedding photos.
Yep.
Like their professional wedding photos / video. Like some things are just priority.
And that's one of them. Yeah, that's what I was going to say is like there are certain times where, you know, you could do that content when there's downtime.
Right.
And there are downtimes on wedding days. Like they, like, believe me, like I build in buffer time so that there are downtimes on a wedding day for the bride and groom. And maybe, you know, that's when you do that reel or that TikTok or something like that. And I did listen to actually a couple of podcasts about like wedding day content creation to prep for this episode and listen to these wedding day content creators. And one was very, very professional in how she approached things. She even said that, you know, I'm not going to step on the toes of the photo and video.
Give her a shout?
No, I honestly, I forgot her name. And I wish I did. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll share it.
Podcast to podcast.
Yeah.
Respect.
But no, I can't remember it, and her name escapes me. But I love what she was saying, because she was just like, she basically said, she's like, I adhere to the timeline of the photo and video, okay? And my work is always third on that list. And if we have time to do something or there's downtime, I'm going to do it. And I was like, that's a perfect approach. Like, that's a perfect approach. But she was also sharing that she knows other content creators that want to do those things and are stepping on the schedule of the day, but they're not wedding day professionals. And she's learning about that. And, you know, and she's basically trying to educate those content creators and say, hey, there's a way to do this. And like, there's a way that we really need to like start establishing the ground rules here. Cause it really is, it's a new career. It's brand new here.
And yeah, I mean, when it is new like that, it can start one way and then the overwhelming majority can be like, we don't like this. So real quick, you know, just upsetting a whole host of vendors. Yeah. Whereas like this woman seems like she has a good understanding of how weddings work and what her capabilities are during a certain amount of time. And that could sway a whole group of people to be like, yeah, I'm for it. So I think it's really just like how you conduct yourself and if it's respectful or not. Yeah. I mean, is like one of the biggest rules of any vendor.
And I think that's the key right there, is being respectful, not only to the other vendors you're working with, but the couple and the guests and all that stuff. And like, we just talked about it, vendor etiquette, like a few episodes ago, right? Like having vendor etiquette. You're now part of the wedding day. You need to have, and you're a wedding vendor, you need to have vendor etiquette. It's a big factor here. Have that etiquette, Gen Z people. God, I sound so old. Oh my God, I'm saying new. There's a whole generation. Do you feel like...
Ask me.
Oh my God. Do you feel like you're relating more to the parents on the wedding day?
Please don't say that.
I really do. I feel like I'm relating more to the parents on the wedding day than I am my couple sometimes.
Please don't ask me that.
It's so bad. I literally was talking to a dad
the other day. Hurt.
I was talking to a dad the other day about how great his lawn looked. This is something that is really happening. It's really going there.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because
it's relatable, isn't it?
Because yesterday I stepped on my front porch and literally just went, wow, our lawn looks great today. Wearing my robe.
Oh my God. It's really getting that way. But yeah, I'm relating more to the parents than I am my clients.
It's a lawn thing. Like,
I swear to God, once they don't know the movie references that I'm referencing, like for shots and stuff like that, like if I had it happen one time where the clients didn't know what the Mighty Ducks were. I told them to do the Flying Bee, and they didn't know. And I never wanted to smash my head harder against the wall than in that moment. So, but it's happening. It's starting to happen.
That's so sad.
And they're talking about things that I don't know. And it's scaring me a little bit. It's a little scary.
When they start talking about things that you don't know, or you're like, what? Well, did you see that Twitter became X the other day?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Why? It doesn't make sense. Like, What's the point of that?
Like, why confuse me further? I'm already having a hard enough time.
I have a Twitter. I look at it briefly. I don't know what's going on Twitter.
I'm like halfway dead. I can't handle this much change.
There's so much change.
As I'm talking about how we need to adapt to change, but like,
no, but there's certain things.
You gotta take away the Twitter bird and make it X.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I deactivated my account immediately.
That is literally the worst like rebrand I think I've ever seen in my life.
Threads.
I haven't even been on Threads that much.
I don't really have like.
I liked it at first. Now I'm like.
I don't really have like a lot that I want to say.
They need to change Threads. So I don't want to see all these people that I don't follow like all the time. I want to just see the people that I follow, and that's it. And then have like, a For You page and a followers page.
Well, it's in its infancy.
Yeah, but that should have been number one. Sorry. The CEO in Instagram.
He's a cranky old man.
The CEO from Instagram.
Give him grace.
I can't with that guy. That guy just doesn't listen to anybody. Sorry.
What guy is that?
I don't know. He's probably going to cancel me and we'll get shadow banned. So
Wouldn't be the first time.
I'm not going to say his name. Yeah, really. I'm not going to say any names. But no, the thing I think in wrapping this up about wedding day content creators, you do have a seat at the table. Number one.
At the vendor table.
At the vendor table. Come to the vendor
table. Look what we did.
Maybe we'll have a wedding day content creator on.
That would be interesting. So I would like that.
Yeah, if there's any that follow us, shoot us a DM because I would love to have you on.
Yeah, like I said, Mike and I have not had any personal like hands-on experience with a content creator on a wedding day, so it would be really interesting to hear that perspective since it is so new.
Yeah.
And we're so old.
I'm so old.
So old.
So old. You were talking about like rheumatoid arthritis and stuff like that, like the other day, like how you're cold all the time, I'm like my back hurts all the time.
I was swimming yesterday and my shoulder was just popping.
Yeah.
Just by moving my arm.
My like big toe is hurting. This is so random, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm like in pain. I'm like, why is my toe hurting of all things? Like why? Like what is happening?
I had to make podiatrist appointments.
Oh.
I need to check my cholesterol.
Oh, God, we're getting so old.
Oh my God.
And I'm like older than you. I'm like 3 years older than you, so it's like it's coming for me quicker than you. But no, this was a fun one to chat about. It always is.
Interesting topic,
but
probably go more into detail with it one day as we learn more about content creators on wedding days. But I do have interest in chatting with one.
I do too. I actually would love to know more about it, and if I ever work with one, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. So.
Yeah, and if you are a wedding day content creator, we'd love to hear from you, so you can DM us on the Vendor Table Pod at Instagram.
Look at you with that plug.
Oh my God, I know I said at Instagram instead of on Instagram though, so I'm going to call myself out on that one.
Well, it's disappointing.
I couldn't just get it right the first time.
Just couldn't. No, but we would love to talk more about it and maybe like bring that up as a topic and things like that. And we'll probably when this episode goes live, we'll do polls and we'll like do some behind the scenes and maybe talk about it a little bit more. But no, it's been fun, and I want to thank everybody for all the love recently. Yeah,
we've gotten a lot of very supportive messages and so many followers, so many new followers over the last couple weeks.
Like the last 2 weeks we gained like I don't even know how many followers.
More than 200.
Yeah, like
300.
300 or something. And we're recording this episode. It's not going to come out for a little bit, but hopefully when it comes out, we'll be at 1,000 followers on Instagram.
That would be awesome.
Hopefully even more than that. Who knows? But no, we want to thank you for all the love. We're getting so many DMs too. Like every day we get a DM when we post something, and you guys are engaging with us, and we're having a lot of fun with this.
Even honestly, like even the comments that are disagreeing with us or don't love some of the things that we say, it's still like useful to us because we are getting different perspectives from people who are outside of our region, and we don't hate that. So, calling me pretentious isn't very nice though, so.
I mean, you did hate on Florida.
I mean, I am pretentious, but like, don't call me pretentious.
I'm a little, apparently I'm arrogant, so, that's
disgusting.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's so disgusting. Well, guys, this has been fun. You can check us out at the Vendor Table Pod on Instagram, on TikTok, as well as YouTube. Lauren, where can they find you?
You can find me at Lauren O'Brien Photo on Instagram and the Photog on Instagram. And I do have a TikTok, and now I have to say it, so it's Lauren O'Brien Photo on TikTok. Michael, where can they find you?
It only took like 20 episodes for her to say it.
Took my time.
You guys can find me at Michael Casara Photo on Instagram, TikTok, as well as my website.
Oh, I forgot about that. LaurenO'BrienPhoto.com.
There you go.
It's pretty easy.
Well, guys, it's been fun. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, bye.